that look? That look is a look that can only happen by a roaring fire at a Verbo cabin after eating rainbow trout caught by your very...
I don't know why we needed a Verbo ad, but here we are. Not this year. You can buy that at Race 92. Okay, so right off the bat, this is fantastic news. Fans of the Indy 500, 40%. We're going to go over all of the details in this video. I want to first say hi to some of the people in the chat. Everybody, Verbo, bad phone ad. Victory is ours. Yub nub. Okay. This is one thing that I want to come off the bat and say, because I feel like I need to get it out, and then we'll get on to the good stuff, which is they announced that they were going to have fans last year, and we saw how that turned out. So does this mean absolutely, just because IMS says it, does it mean it's absolutely going to happen? No. But this is a good first step. I think it's a major first step. So we got a lot of things to talk about, and I figure we just get into it, because I think there's some things that people are going to be upset about. I think there are some people, there's going to be a lot of discussion. So let's get going here. Let me see if I can get my right streaming thing set up. So here we go. This is the Plan Ahead guide, which the Speedway has officially put out. Let me see if I can get the chat up so I can kind of see it as we're going along here. Maybe. Can I pop up the chat? There we go. Okay, popped out the chat. So hopefully I can have this up while... Now, did that affect my window? Yeah, it did. Why must you be so difficult, Windows? Why? Yeah, we'll just do this, and hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. I'll try to keep everything kind of in the center of the screen as best I can. Okay. Thank you, Daryl. Gonna be a 135er. Yes, sir, Bob. Yes, sir, Bob. Okay. So this is the Indianapolis 500 Plan Ahead Guide. Below, you will find an outline of all the key measures. I want to make sure this is in the... okay, yes, it is. All the key measures IMS is taking at this year's event to protect fans, participants, workforce, the broader community. These measures will be associated, and the associated event plan have been developed in consultation with the health experts and city-state officials. So, I mean, until we have like an IU Health official statement, unless they ever, or maybe they just won't make one, I wouldn't say it's like totally, but that sounds quite positive. These measures will make a big difference, but ultimately our success will depend on each individual community member showing respect for one another and making smart, safe, healthy decisions. So here we go. It says, be smart. If you're sick or at risk, stay at home, which is common sense. We've known that this entire pandemic. Use provided masks and hand sanitizer, which they were going to do last year. If you go back to my videos a while back, I showed you the kit they were at least going to give out at the 2020 Indy 500, which of course never ended up happening, at least with fans. Adhere to spacing designations at ingress and I don't know what ingress is. Does anyone know? Chat, explain to me what ingress is. And in the grandstands, restrooms, concession stands, and retail locations. Follow all health and safety protocols. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest on the spacing things. I hope it doesn't get me into trouble. I see that being an issue. It kind of... Oh, entry, okay. Entering the facility. Thank you, chat. You guys are smarter than I am. It's one of them fancy French words, as GP Lab said. All right. So, I've been to probably 10, 20 races since the pandemic. Social distancing really isn't a thing. That's going to be tough to pull off with 100,000 people. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I think in some ways they have to say that. They said that at Barber. Was there social distancing? I don't know. Were you at Barber? Can you tell me? I was at Barber, but I probably wouldn't be at liberty to say. It says, be safe. Wear a mask or face covering at all times. So that's probably going to be something that's going to upset a few people. I will say that, generally speaking, as long as you're actively eating or drinking, it's probably not going to be a problem. But I mean, again, it's just kind of to me, the masks are a courtesy thing. The masks are to make other people comfortable being around you. So that's kind of how I look at the masks, and I try to be courteous when I can be. Wash or sanitize your hands often. Again, common sense. I think that should have been a regulation before coronavirus, quite honestly. Let's think about the troughs at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Like, some guys, get really grubby with those. And then there's the maintain physical distancing again, which I said it's going to be tough to do. Lux Luke, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, going to St. Pete, I'll be there. I was thinking about it, decided against it. There's a lot of things going on in my life right now that are outside the channel. You may have noticed, like, content slowing down. I guess I'll say it here. Screw it. Hi, everybody. I found a place in the Indy area, so I'm going to be moving in the next few weeks. So that's exciting. But that's exciting from the perspective of, hopefully the content is slowing down right now, but it means it's going to be able to ramp up significantly being back in the Midwest. It's something I was planning on doing before the pandemic, and the pandemic kind of hurt that. And so now we've been able to find a place. So that's exciting. I'm the main dog now. David, big fan of the channel. Saw you at the IndyCar Pocono race in 2019. Have a good show. We're going to try to have a good show. And thank you, chat. Yeah, it's exciting. There's a lot of exciting things happening. It's not just that. Oh my God, there's a few more things kind of in the pipeline that I'm really excited about. So there's going to be, it does suck to be a Northeastern fan, man. Chris Cologne. I was just thinking on the way back from Barber how much I miss Watkins Glen and Pocono, and hopefully there's some more racing that happens around here. They're finally going to let David live in the Turn 2 suite. Okay. Let's get back to this. Be prepared. Download the IMS mobile app and or check into ims.com for the latest information. So that's what we do. Plan your route, know where you're parking, where you're entering the venue, and where you're sitting in advance. Again, who doesn't do that? Be patient and adhere to physical distancing requirements at gates, restrooms, concession merch. Again, the physical distancing thing, I will be curious how much of that is lip service and how much of that they're actually going to enforce. My suspicion is it's going to be difficult with 130,000 people to do that, but we'll see. What you need to know. Here we go. So this is the big thing. 40% of the venue capacity will be permitted, totaling approximately 135,000 fans. Roger Penske said they've sold 170,000 tickets. 40,000 people will either voluntarily or not so voluntarily be yanked from this year's 500. So that's a concern. We're going to have to see how they decide to choose which fans get in, which fans don't. Thankfully, at least from my perspective, my family has seniority dating back to like 1985, so I'm not too worried about it. But those of you who don't have seniority, fingers crossed for you. Hopefully enough people voluntarily backed out for this year so that it won't be a problem and everybody will be able to get in. Spectator viewing mounds will be closed to the general public with no race day general admission tickets sold. Now, the question I will have, and there is a frequently asked questions thing that we'll go over a little bit later down there. Does that also apply to the practice days? I'm wondering how the practice days will go because, okay, no fans inside the track on race day. That makes sense. You're trying to distance people in the grandstand. You're trying to keep them away from the drivers. Fair enough. The viewing mounds, at least on practice days, that's not going to be hard to social distance, especially because they are letting people in with the bronze badges as long as you have a vaccine, which is something we'll eventually get to, but that's something I need to talk about because that one's a head scratcher, and I don't know how they're going to pull off enforcing that either. Entry screening. All individuals will be temperature screened prior to entry with a contactless thermometer, and those with a fever or experience COVID-like symptoms will not be allowed to enter the venue. temperature checks, everybody. We're getting quite used to those now. They are what they are. They are what they are. Face coverings. IMS will provide all individuals entering the venue with a complimentary face mask. Masks or face coverings will be required throughout the facility for all guests over the age of 4. So, hopefully at least it's like a souvenir face covering. It'll suck if it's like a crappy paper mask, but if it's like a cool, like 105th Indy 500 mask, hey, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be fine with that. Hand hygiene. IMS will provide all individuals entering the facility with complimentary individual hand sanitizer. Fans will be encouraged to regularly wash or sanitize their hands. Now, this is something, again, like common sense. Like, please wash your hands after you poop. Please. But the other thing is, like, apparently the CDC, and again, I want to make sure I'm not, like, speaking out of turn here, but apparently the CDC has kind of come out and said, look, COVID's, like, airborne. It's not kind of what we feared it was for a little while, which was like, is it going to, how long does it live on surface? Apparently it doesn't live on surfaces for very long at all. So while I'm very happy that they are asking people to clean their hands, that's probably not a mask with Sato's face on it. That would be interesting. What if it's just like the ticket? That would be kind of cool if they just put the ticket on the mask. Distancing. Now here we go again with the distancing. We'll see how that goes. The fans must follow the seating arrangement designated by IMS, which has been created to allow for distancing. Distancing will also be enforced throughout the venue. Okay, so they're saying they're going to enforce the distancing. They're going to need a lot of people. We'll have to see, because if it's, if there's not a ton of yellow shirts able to, like, patrol that, a lot of it's going to be honor system, and we know how that goes with the honor system. Cleaning and sanitation. The venue will be cleaned and sanitized and disinfected regularly with frequent cleaning of high traffic areas and surfaces throughout the day. Wow, that sounds expensive, but I'm happy with that. Sean says it's a bunch of safety theater, if we're being honest. I supported this stuff last year, but with people being vaxxed now, ? Come on, Yeah, unfortunately, that's what a lot of the response to the virus has been. But at the same time, I would rather, I hate to say this, because it's like, I would rather be I don't want to do 2020 again. It was fine to watch it on TV, but I don't want to do that again. And I'm more than willing to wear a mask and, attempt to social distance if it means I get to go to the race. And I hate to say that, because it's like, well, that's a slippery slope. But yes, it's a slippery slope. I agree with you. Concessions and merchandise. Distancing will be enforced in queues, and touchless transactions will be encouraged whenever possible. I would say bring a cooler and buy your merch online. That's what I would say. Because if you think about a normal race day and how crowded and just like terrible it is to buy merchandise on race day. What do you buy on race day typically that you can't buy online? In a normal year, I would suggest bring your own cooler and buy online. Communication and signage. Fans and stakeholders will receive frequent advanced communication outlining policies, procedures, and on-site signage. PA announcements will reinforce the health and safety. Okay, so we're going to have the thing. So at at Barber, if you were at Barber, you heard probably 100 times Joseph Newgarden on the PA going, now I need everybody to wear a mask and social distance and all this stuff. So if you enjoy propaganda, you're going to be seeing a lot of it. Which, it's like walking into, every time I walk into Target, I hear the same, well, if you don't want to wear a mask, we have contactless online shopping. It's like, okay, I got it. I've been hearing that same message every single time I walk into Target for the last, year. I probably get it at this point. But that's probably, again, part of, I think I saw it in the chat, that's to appease the lawyers, that's to appease the health officials, to make it look like you are putting forth the effort that you have already put forth. It's weird. All right, the frequently asked questions. Will the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500 take place on Sunday, May 30th? I wonder what the answer to this question will be. Yes, IMS plans to host the... Okay, we got that one. How many fans will be able to attend the Indianapolis 500? We've already answered this question, but this is one that people are interested in hearing. Up to 40% venue capacity will be permitted, totaling approximately 135,000 fans. I'm an existing ticket holder. Will I receive all my tickets for the 105th running? All right, now this is the one, because again, we know that Roger Penske said 170,000 had been sold. IMS expects to be able to accommodate the majority of your original ticket quantity or near your current seating location. Please log into your IMS account for further details. So if you got tickets, probably a good time to look at the IMS account. Will I receive my 105th running race day tickets? Month of May, customers will receive an email notification that their 2021 tickets have been mailed. As a reminder, no 2021 tickets have been delivered. All tickets delivered for the month of May events in 2020 will not be valid in 2021. So don't try to use your 2020 ticket. So you will be getting a physical ticket, which is good. Ethan is asking about the infield. No infield. No infield. Not for the 500 anyway. It seems like it's up in the air about what the infield is going to be like for practice. But we'll see if it's in the frequently asked questions. Are additional tickets available for purchase for Indy 500 race day? Fans who do not currently have tickets and are interested in attending can apply on IMS.com. If additional tickets are available to these fans will be given the first opportunity to purchase. So it sounds like they're done selling tickets unless for some reason there's 100,000 people that decide to not go, which I don't think will happen. What if I decide not to attend and would like a credit? So this is good for those of you who, for whatever reason, have decided that you don't want to go to the race this year. Ticket holders will have the option to roll their 2021 purchase over to 2022, receiving an IMS account credit rather than attending this year's race. You must log into your IMS account or contact the IMS ticket office by Friday, April 23rd at 8 p.m. to make your IMS credit. So you got to get this. What is this? This is 2 days. You got 2 days to cancel your ticket. So and roll it over to 2022. What health and safety precautions will be in place? Okay. This is probably stuff we've already gone over, but we'll say it again. The plan for Sunday, May 30th was developed in close consolidation with state and local officials, has been approved by the Marion County Public Health Department. Now, this is something that is really important to point out. Again, kind of going back to my skepticism in the early part of this video. Last year's plan for the Indy 500 to have fans was also approved by the Marion County Health Department. So does this mean we're completely out of the woods by IMS putting this plan out? No. There could still be some crazy stuff coming down the line, and this whole plan may get blown up. Okay? We just have to consider that, remind ourselves of that, and just keep that in the back of our minds. So, face coverings will be required and enforced throughout the venue. Temperature checks will be administered upon public gate entry. There will be spacing between customer groups and grandstands. Spacing will be enforced throughout the venue, including concession areas, customer quest, etc. Spectator viewing mounts will be closed to the general public with no race day and general admission. So that sounds to me like they're just not going to let anybody inside the track at all, practice or qualifying included. But we'll see. Increased cleaning and sanitation procedures will be in place. We've talked about this, hand sanitizer stations all over the place. If I am fully vaccinated, will I have to wear a face covering? I think I know what the answer to this question is going to be, and I don't think it's the one that's going to make people happy. Yes, protocols from the Marion County Public Health Department requires that all attendees follow safety precautions as outlined. Yeah. I'll let you make your own mind up about that one, but we'll move on. Will fans be allowed at the GMR Grand Prix and Indianapolis 500 practice qualifications? Here we go. This is the one that I really wanted to know. Yes. Tickets for all other track days remain available. Same health precautions will be in place for all days. IMS is open to the public during the month of May GMR Grand Prix. Race day tickets can now be reserved via an application on IMS.com. Oh, interesting. So you have to apply for a ticket to the Grand Prix. So that sounds like nobody inside the track during practice and qualifying to me. We'll see how that goes. Will IMS host concerts and the Pit Stop Challenge in the month of May? With no GA access to the infield. Oh, there we go. So there's your question answered. No GA access to the infield whatsoever during the month of May. Miller Lite Carb Day and Pit Stop Challenge, Legends Days concert, Snake Bit concert, all canceled. All the concerts gone. Ticket holders can receive an IMS account credit, and yeah, so there you go. There you go. Ooh. So no. Oh, did we lose the stream? No, we didn't lose the stream. Okay. Where is it? Where was I? Oh yeah. So no concerts, no Carb Day. No, they didn't have the Pit Stop Challenge last year. Though the concerts count, will I still be able to attend Carb Day? It will not be open on Legends Day. So that probably kills the memorabilia show, which is sad. That's a sad, because I really enjoy the memorabilia show quite a bit. But maybe they'll hold that off the grounds. I don't know. Does the IMS credit include all fees associated with my order? All fees will be credited to your IMS account if you elect to roll your order to a future event. Will camping be permitted? Camping will still be offered for fans. Okay. I'm guessing that means like the Coke lot. I guess. Aha. So here we go. I know what the answer to this one is, and this will be quite an interesting discussion, I think. Will I be able to get my bronze or silver badge and use it? So I know the answer to one of these things, and it's going to be an interesting discussion. Yes. Please note that with bronze or silver badges must show proof of vaccination, at least one shot administered 2 weeks in advance at the time of check-in. If you have paid for a badge and wish to opt out this year, you may do so by logging into your IMS account or by calling the number. Credentials to minors will not be utilized this year, and all purchases will be credited to accounts. As a reminder, bronze and silver badges are valid for gate admission and garage access. May 14th, 18th through the 23rd, and May 28th. All individuals must be 18 years of age due to time constraints on XYZ. All right. So, you need a Vax card to get in the garage. I will be interested to see how that works out. It's a good thing that people who bought bronze and silver badges will have an opportunity to be in the garages and have a fairly normal month of May. My question would be, is this the new normal? Question mark? Because is it so you have to show a proof of vaccination to get in the garage. Will you have to show a proof of vaccination next year to get in the garage? What about other events? At what point does it get to the point where you have to show a Vax card to get into the stands? I mean, where does this end would be my question. Is this just a precautionary thing right now? Or is it going to continue? That would be my question. And we'll have to see. There's positives and negatives to that. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I don't know. This one will be one that I will be interested to see what the reaction to it is. But again, I think the Indy officials are live right now. Oh, are we going to tune into that? I think we should tune into that. Is that on Facebook? Yeah, we'll tune into that. Here. Hang on. Let's get the old Twitter up. Hang on. If they're live... Are they live? Chat, are they live? Facebook, okay. Let's go to Facebook. Now let's go over to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Are we sure they're on? I don't see them on, guys. It doesn't say they're live, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Zoom call for media. Well, they didn't send me a media invite. I'd love to get on it, but so how is Logan watching if... Okay. WTHR on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. That's not it. Okay. WTHR Indy Facebook. Sorry, this is the most boomer thing ever. Alright. Here we go.
Here to help. And so, whether it's COVID really affect your health status much for the race on May 30th, but it's indicative of the fact that we want to do all we can to help people in our community and our region be in the best possible place from a healthcare perspective. So another aspect of that.
Well, I assumed that IMS was streaming and not a WTHR.
Remarkable job they did to keep the paddock healthy last year. The continuation of that, and the level I think of over 90% of the teams that are already vaccinated.
Oops, that's not what we want to do.
At this moment in time, we do projections every day. That
Volume up. Okay.
They're meant to use the existing public data. And
that's literally as high as it goes.
For our extra efforts throughout May, that something approximating 60% of the fans in the stands are likely to be vaccinated, and I hope that we can push that up more through the ongoing efforts and the advertising and public service campaign that we're going to run.
There's that better.
Seen yet? The public hasn't seen yet. That'll start probably in the next week to really get the message out and keep driving vaccinations here. So that's part of it. The planning that's been going on forever is part of it. The sense of responsibility, both to our fans who really want to be here, who choose to be here, at a time when there is literally in Indiana more vaccine available than people signing up to take it. If you are of an age where you're eligible to take the vaccine, you have had the opportunity and you'll continue to have the opportunity to get yourself vaccinated. And that's really different. If I had to say one key difference between
you guys
where we
still
are
can't
today
hear
as a
it?
community and a city and
Do I need to turn it up louder?
and therefore, our
I
own
can. I'm just going to blow my own ears out
responsible
doing.
results of our planning. And a year ago, it's the
Here, I'll just turn my...
We are quite certain that more than half the people here, I hope north of 60%, will have been vaccinated. And that's fans when you talk about...
Hey, by the way, did you just hear that? Remember what I said, because I had this information. I was told that Marion County expected 70% of the people to be vaccinated.
And I would
And
just conclude by saying
60, Mark Miles just said 60% is what they're expecting. So they clearly had some sort of a compromise with the
they've been
with Marion County.
willing to engage with us throughout this whole process. The timing had to be now because the city needed
But that
to
was
get
something
through
that they
March Madness.
specifically,
assess
Marion
that
County
from a
wanted them to do.
Public health point of view, I think they can look back on it now and believe that it was not a super spreader
Oh, stop
event.
yelling. I'm
And so
sorry.
that-
I've got to yell over
gives
Mark
us a lot of
Miles, who's
confidence.
shouting in my ear
We
because
needed
I
to have
turned up
that
the...
insight before it was time to make these key decisions going forward. And all of that came together so that we can be here today to make these announcements.
Mark, thanks. So much hard work has gone into this moment. And again, for Doug Bowles, perhaps, Doug, walk us through the particulars.
Hi, Spring Arbor University calling, following up on an
that you
information
want-
request. Please give us a call, 517.
Oh, no.
And if we can ask everyone to go ahead and make sure they're on mute as we continue here.
Oh,
And
that's
Doug,
embarrassing.
just back to you. Walk us through some of the particulars that you want fans to be aware of heading into the month of May, is certainly when it comes to the Indy 500 on race day.
Well, first I want to echo what Mark
Big
said.
Doug.
Mark and I are blessed every day to walk in and work alongside an unbelievable team here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And really, over the last 13 months,
Yeah, no, why is no
our
one using a
team,
cat
in particular,
filter?
Our ticketing team and our operations team has gone through dozens and dozens of different scenarios. And I can't tell you how many times we've had to sort of reseat the facility to understand how to meet projected thoughts on where we were going to be in terms of numbers and protocols and things. So we are thankful for their efforts. And I had a moment a few minutes ago just to actually go down to the ticketing team, who's already fielding calls from our passionate fans. And that's the second thing I'd like to say. Thank you to all of our fans who've been patient with us, especially through a really difficult time last year. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and in particular the Indianapolis 500, is about not just the race, but the experiences in and around it. And the number of times people have come in a row and where they sit and how they get there are all part of that experience. And last year was a devastating year for all of our fans, and for them to walk alongside us, understand the challenges we faced, understand the challenges our community and our country and our global landscape faced, and to really support us through last year is really, really thankful. And we can't wait, or we're really, really thankful for that. And we cannot wait to host people back
Doug
here
is
at
always
the
really good
Indianapolis
with this kind of
Speedway.
stuff.
Mark,
He's a
and
good
Roger
representative
both have said
for
all
my
along
MS to
as
the
we've been
fans.
navigating through this, the most important thing is the Indianapolis 500, race day for the 500. We want to welcome folks back. We'd like to welcome as many as want to be here back for the 105th running on May 30th. And I think the number that was announced today is going to get us pretty close to those folks that want to be here. So some of the protocols that folks will be seeing in the emails they get, and we'll be talking about over the next several weeks as we get ready for the Indianapolis 500, that are really important. Mark touched on one of them. We want everybody to get vaccinated. So we're encouraging you. We're not requiring you, but we're encouraging you. If you have a chance to get vaccinated, whether you're in California or whether you're here in Indiana or anywhere else before you come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we want you to get that done. I think it makes your neighbors feel safer. It makes us all
Logan,
feel safer.
no.
As we come into the venue. As we negotiated with our city officials and state officials on how to do this.
Everybody
some other things came out of
spam
that.
Logan in the chat.
Obviously, we want to be careful that we're not gathering too many people in one
Yeah,
location.
let me like
so our
that.
concerts, those 3 mega concerts that we have that really jam people in front of the stage, we're going to cancel those for this year and hope to bring those back in 2022 under normal circumstances. We're going to require folks to have masks when they come in the gates at all times. And I know people have different opinions on masks, and I just ask our fans to look at it this way. Whether you believe a mask works or not, we certainly believe it does here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we want you to wear it so that we can have a safe Indianapolis 500, and everybody that's here feels like they're here in a safe way. So we're really going to make that a sticking point. So if you're coming to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and you walk through those gates, you're going to need to wear those masks. In addition, we're going to have some seat spacing requirements. So you'll be seeing more about those, and it's basically in your customer groups on either side of your customer group, not top and bottom, but either side. So you'll see that as those ticket communications start coming out. You also see a lot of the things that we're used to now over the last year in events. Hand sanitizers. We're going to encourage you to space out as you're standing in line at concession stands.
No, don't.
So those are the things I think.
Don't raid WTHR. I do not condone raiding the
WTHR.
WTHR. I want to disavow that.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway and come in the gate. There will not be any parking in the infield except for participants and a handful of folks who have suites inside the venue. So you'll be parking outside the speedway. The mounds will be closed. So if you want to come, we're going to have you park on the west side of the racetrack, sit in the outside grandstands. Some of those will be open. The Tower Terrace inside will be open, but you'll have to come under Tunnel 6 or Tunnel 7, which is those tunnels along the front.
So you
straightaway
can sit inside the
to access
track.
that. Hopefully,
Interesting.
some of you get a chance to come in and see the new big board in Pagoda Plaza. But we'll have more information on our website. We've got a great frequently asked questions a page
So
on the website to help
I
you work
really
through
don't
that.
understand that,
At the end of the
because
day,
you have
we
this
just need to wait for
gigantic
those fans back
facility
in.
where you
39
can
days away for the
distance,
105th run
and you're
in
not
the
going to let
8500
most people
for
use
Cambridge.
most of it.
Back that up by 2 weeks. We'll be seeing the folks here on that Friday for the GMR Grand Prix, kicking things off with the NTT IndyCar Series on our 14-turn road course here in the middle of May.
39 days, countdown continues.
Nearly even live
and
viewers,
IndyCar
WCHR
President Jay
versus
Fry
me.
is
Of
with
course
us as
there
well.
is.
Jay, we've seen fans at other NTT IndyCar Series events, and certainly it's been tremendous. But why does having fans back at the Indy 500 mean so much to this series?
Here comes the fluffy question. Oh.
Hey, you're muted.
Jay, you're muted.
I didn't mute me. Somebody mute.
Oh dear. Oh, did I lose the internet? Or did I? What's going on here?
There you go.
To me, the undisputed.
Is that my stream or is it theirs? Chat, please tell me. Yeah, it's mine.
We're
Are we back?
it towards our fans at the same time that we're trying to reach people all over the region.
All right, let's go ahead and open it up for questions.
Available on whatever day.
Are we back?
For the rest of May.
For Doug, a couple of years ago when you went to the bag searches,
I think we're back. Hi, everybody.
To get in, we're pretty backed up to the point where some people may not have gotten to their seats, in time to see some of the opening ceremonies and everything. Even though there's 40% capacity, there's another layer here of admittance. So how much of a logistic challenge will that be for spectators?
Well, you're referring to 2013 when we had gates back up. So we learned an awful lot in 2013, and as folks will recall, that we were the first major event other than the Kentucky Derby after the Boston bombing. So the world changed in those a few weeks following the Boston bombing and the way that we let people enter venues. So we were underprepared, and we sat down literally that evening and the entire next day, Memorial Day, figuring out how we were going to make sure that didn't happen again. We will have virtually the same number of gates open for our spectators and 125 or so lanes of access for our spectators.
Yeah, if you hit the thumbs up button,
really
those of you who are watching, it helps
we'll
people see it once it's
back. One
back.
of the things we've done over the last several years, and our fans really have helped us do this, is we've just encouraged people to come a little bit early. Make sure they're patient when they come, and we'll do the same thing again this year. But I think with the number of lanes that we'll have,
yeah, Doug will admit when something's
in pretty good shape as it relates
something
to
hasn't been done
in the
right,
manner that
which
they're
again,
expecting. I
kind of
wouldn't
speaks
anticipate waits
to
longer
his
than,
character.
5 or 10 minutes, depending on what time you show up. The later you wait to come to the race, the more time you can expect to wait in line. So that's why we encourage folks to come a little bit early.
And a couple of weeks ago, you and I spoke at the open test, and you said, we're going to announce when we can have the most fans possible. And you said if we made the announcement on that day, it probably wouldn't be the number that the fans would like. How much did that change?
Well, I don't know that it changed at all. And I think that's one of the things that Mark and Roger and Jay and all of us have said, that's so important to have fans here. And we were asking for patience so that we could get as close as we could to having as many fans as we could. And Mark mentioned how for our city, it was important for them to see how March Madness took hold here over the few weeks that we had thousands of people inside our community using our hotels, using our restaurants, to understand if there was any impact on that. And that was important to them. And had we made a decision before March Madness and how it worked, we would probably be having a different conversation today. So definitely waiting until now helps us. We are also at a point where we need to make a decision because we have customers all over the country who are trying to figure out how to travel, how to get here, or whether or not they're even going to come. And we wanted to at least give them a reasonable amount of time to make that decision. So I don't know that we could have gone much beyond today, regardless of where we are, in order to give our fans time to make the right decision for them.
And one quick one for Mark. Over this time period, you and the Penske officials, met every day, numerous times a day for hours on end. Just when you see the starting point that you began with, how much did it change?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying, Shadow.
Well,
it's limited capacity, but nothing much in the infield,
sure
which I don't know if it...
where my mind goes for picking a starting point, because really, as I tried to say, Bruce...
Hang on.
I think this feels like it started, March of 20.
Okay, they're talking about things that we already kind of know.
COVID.
The question I had, which maybe it didn't go through before the internet crapped out, was why are they?
Whether it's for the IndyCar series,
they're letting people sit in the Tower Terrace inside the track. They're letting people go
here at IMS
into Pagoda Plaza
for a very long time,
but they're not letting them distance throughout the facility on the inside, which I think is a bit silly. It's such a huge facility that honestly, there's plenty of room for people to spread out.
Whether it was a year ago or last August. Or the Harvest Grand Prix, or today. As I tried to say, the biggest difference really is vaccinations. That's the game changer. Everybody will have their own view, and I don't purport to be an epidemiologist, but...
Boy, I don't get sick of hearing that.
Everybody who wants to be vaccinated can be vaccinated.
Remember, you can't have an opinion on the pandemic unless you're an epidemiologist.
We feel like it's responsible and appropriate to let people choose to come. And if that ends up being 135,000 people, that'll be the biggest crowd probably on the planet for a sports event in 2021. And we will have done all we could for the largest number of our fans, and particularly the fans that wanted to be here.
Thanks, everybody, and good luck.
Thanks, Bruce. Let's go to Steve Wittich from Trackside Online. Hi, Steve.
Hey, gentlemen. Congratulations on the first part of this announcement. We obviously know fans are so important to the sport. The other part that isn't mentioned is the sponsors and the partners. Is there a plan on how hospitality is going to work? I know that's so important for so many, Speedway partners, IndyCar partners, team partners. Do you guys know how that'll work, or is that something that's still being worked through?
So I'll talk from the Speedway standpoint, and then maybe Mark or Jay can talk a little bit, because when you say hospitality, there's a whole bunch of varieties of hospitality. So here at the Speedway, we have suite holders. So there will be some protocols related to suites that will allow them a percentage of access in their suites, depending on the size of the suite and depending on whether that suite has indoor, outdoor seating or how it's situated. So we've communicated to those suite holders and given them some options.
Okay, so this is, I guarantee you that there are suite holders who watch my channel, but
facilities that
for
we have there,
like 99% of people, they don't care about this.
The number that they can have into that, or will expand the space that they were originally going to have to take care of them. So there will be protocols in and around them, but you're absolutely right. Without sponsors,
I hope the Coca-Cola 600 isn't going to be like this. I don't honestly know. Is North Carolina like a super lockdown state still? Because that's really what it comes down to. I mean, here's the thing. Like, and this is something you're probably not going to hear anywhere else. But here, if the Indy 500 took place in Florida, if the Indy 500 even took place in like Terre Haute, Indiana.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
We would not have gone through all this. Like, we would have probably a full capacity.
Thanks, Steve. Let's go to Lewis Frank from Reuters. Hi, Lewis.
Oh, good, Reuters. Oh, no, Reuters won't get to ask a question.
Lewis, you might be on mute.
Thank you. Okay, boomers. I'm not ready for this technology.
Hey, attaboy. All right, the Reuters guy is good in my book.
Narrow and maybe selfish question. What is media access going to look like? NASCAR, there's reports in NASCAR things are opening up a little more for their Darlington race. Will we be able to go into the pits or the garages? What's the status? And I'm sure it'll change in the next 40 days.
Yeah, so I can take that question. You want to take it, Mark?
Come on, Doug. Take the question,
So
Doug.
you will be getting some communication from Alex and the team on the PR side, as well as Kate and the folks on the IndyCar side,